When I was a little girl, an elf from the North Pole used to visit our house, and he used to watch and report to Santa Claus.
Well, I had an elf when I was a child. And so when I got married, he, of course, came with me. His name was Fizby. He gets a shout out in the book.
I was having tea with my mom one day, and I looked at her and I said, "Hey, Mom, what if we write a story about the elf that used to visit us, the elf from the North Pole?" And she looked at me and she said, "Well, okay." And that really began our journey.
I am a member of the team that helped bring the Elf on the Shelf to life. My mom and my sister own the company together. And so as self-publishers, it was the natural next step to have our story told in animation.
With Elf on the Shelf and the brand that it had become with Chanda, Krista, and Carol, when they came to Chad and I and our other partners, they gave us an opportunity to make something that was going to be amazing, and we had the platform to go that way.
We pooled all resources we could possibly get from our families and casting agents across the country and friends of friends of friends. Normally a big Hollywood film, you just call up all the professionals and start hiring them, but you need to be able to pay them all big dollar signs, and we didn't have all that. So it was a project of passion, and I really do think watching the final film, you can sense the passion and the joy and the love that went into the making of it.
This truly is independent. We're all driven enough, roguish enough to just think that we can do it ourselves.
I can't think of a Christmas special that's really just self-funded by a bunch of people, without Hollywood's blessing. So I think from that perspective, what we were able to pull off is pretty amazing.
Kathy and I are such passionate fans of family entertainment, of animation. We've been working towards this goal for a long time, and we're really excited to be part of the Elf on the Shelf special.
The first round of boardmatics that we'd put together with the rough scratch and the thumbnail sketches with the original script, we were flying down this path and we had to get something together as fast as possible. And we did. And Chad and I screened it. It was a Thursday night. I remember it like completely. We sat there and we watched it and we looked at each other. We got problems.
We think this is not working. And so Tara, Krista, myself, and Chad got together and spent all weekend rewriting and reworking the script.
Getting together that weekend and coming out of Sunday afternoon going, okay, we've just come up with a new character, Wordsworth. He's a poet elf. We didn't know if it was going to work or be funny or not. And, now as we see it, he's working. His little character brings complete levity to the elves.
Why not a poet? Why not have a cool, rhyming character that, as my mom later suggested, ties an ascot and becomes that elf?
No, my friend. Feel it inside.
That weekend, and the reason that happened was to find that character and to, of course, recreate the story.
We had to all come together and revisit the actual script, and the way we were telling the story was a highly pressure-filled situation, but it was filled with laughter the whole weekend.
There's Hoppy or Kringle.
Or Biscuit or Doodle.
What about Fiddlesticks?
Dazzle McNoodle.
We cast mostly in the Southeast through Kelly Tippin. She did a great job. We did come down to the very end, and we did not have our Chippy. But I worked with a casting director in New York, Elsie Stark, and I think she understood that we wanted someone that was real. We didn't want someone that sounded like an elf. We didn't want someone that was trying to be anything other than who they were. One of the ones that she liked was Brendan Dooling out of New York.
Oh, yeah. I got my magic. I can fly.
And we went back to him again and we listened to his whole take. And he was our Chippy.
Oh, yeah! Oh, whoa! Watch out!
I actually fell in love with all of the characters. And one of the things that really came together for me was not only the relationship between Chippy and Taylor.
Are you real?
But also the relationship between Zart and Wordsworth.
Did you try poking him with a peppermint stick?
Ow! Hey!
This process was incredible. It was so challenging, and I loved the writing process. I loved the storyboarding and seeing things come to life. And the part I love even more than that was when you finally start to see things come together and you can start putting in 2 cents.
I did come up with the word extravaganzalorious, which to me encompasses the entire experience plus the specialness of the special, if you will.
Extravaganzalorious.
You're able to inject your own personality. For instance, if you meet Tara Burchell and you see Snowflake, they are the same person.
I'm speaking for the 4 of us, the 5, 6, 7, and more of us. We're feeling wild, we're acting nuts, extravaganzalorious. We're full of smiles.
Carol put together this, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious kind of word. Started thinking, all right, extravaganzalorious, what does it mean? It's going to be great. It means awesome. It means fun. It means we're super high.
It was a labor of love for everyone involved. Families came in and gave us soundtrack scratch records for the voices. I don't know that I've ever seen a project where so many people brought their different expertise and gave of their gifts in such a tremendous way.
I mean, the whole thing, obviously, I love, and the basic theme of just the belief and the overarching view of the story is hugely special to me. The true Christmas spirit and the real meaning of Christmas had to be part of the special. It wasn't just about being happy and jolly. It was this idea of true belief and true forgiveness.
I wonder if Christmas will still come.
On a visceral experience level, I love the lullaby. I think it's fantastic.
Christmas is a time of joy and peace.
I have so many memories of being either a kid and even a grown-up. I always try and recreate that with the Christmas tree lighting when it's nighttime and just the feeling of that room, the feeling of the season around you. We really wanted to capture that, and I think that scene does a great job of it.
That is why we all believe in Christmas.
All right, here we go. Scoutels, are you ready? Here we go!
I think the shipping yard is probably my favorite because it's a send-off and there's so much that is imbued from the North Pole in the shipping yard. When Chippy first comes down that tunnel where he's exposed to all the packages that are going everywhere and the mayhem and all the excitement of sending the elves to their home. Actually, when we were creating that, as soon as I saw the concept art and then the wireframes and then the way that the actual model was coming together, I sent it as a collective package to the entire Big Canoe Entertainment group because it was so amazing.
One of the big things that we wanted to bring to life was experiencing the North Pole. Generally, in a production like this, you only build what you know is going to be in the camera. And so we approached this differently and built the entire world and put all the detail in of the books and the gilding and the molding down to the artwork on Santa's walls. When you go into those spaces and the scenes, you feel the depth, you feel the detail, and you really do experience the North Pole.
It was late January, and we got the first rendered sequence. It was sequence 5. I'll never forget, it was Santa and Chippy talking on the desk before he got sent to Taylor's house.
Well, hello there.
Hiya, Santa.
Shouldn't you be heading to the send-off?
I couldn't even talk. I stood there, and tears just streamed down my face because I was like, here it is all together. Every single thing is working on every cylinder. And I just cried. Chad looked at me, he's like, blows your mind, doesn't it?
There were a few tears. I was speechless, and all I could say was I thought it was an extravaganzalorious experience.
When I watched the film for the first time, I was in awe. Anyone who knows me knows it's hard for me to be speechless. And I was speechless until I looked at Chad and Tara, and I just screamed out, awesome! It's awesome! And I still feel that way today.
We really have to give credit to Chad and Tara, who really just, exploded with this thing. Their talents are just unbelievable, and you can't say enough about what they've done for this.
Everybody, come quick, come quick! He's back! Chippy's back!
It's a 21st century story with the heart and feel of maybe a 19th century story.
It's got all the makings of a Christmas classic. We certainly hope it will be because it's captured the spirit that we all feel when Christmas time comes, and it's really going to be a way to launch off the Christmas season.
In working on this day to day, there were moments when we knew we had something really special. So it was touching me as I was, as I was going through the process, and I hope that there are bits and pieces that people pick up on, and it touches everybody like it's touched me to work on it.
I hope we made Santa proud. I believe that we did. I believe we were true to the vision that God has given us. I believe we were true to all of the folklore of the North Pole and all the legends and the things that Santa has shared with me, whether it was off the record or on the record. So I think that we've got a really amazing Christmas special that Santa will be proud of.